queer,
trans,
pleasant,
strangers,
ladies,
pleasant,
greetings,
played,
watched,
listened,
groups from queer and pleasant strangers, pour homme, pour femme, pour them. Greetings, strangers, queer and pleasant. I'm not Laura Kate Dale.
and I'm not Jane Aerith Magnet, and welcome to another episode of Queer and Pleasant Strangers. We're two queer trans ladies that talk about the media we've consumed in the week and have a bit of a catch-up and whatnot and do voices and skits and things. How are you doing, Jane?
How am I doing? I'm doing okay.
Yeah?
I have, been a bit spacey this week. I'll be honest.
That's fair. I've been doing too much work this week. I've been all over the shop.
So doing too much work.
Yeah. I'm having one of those weeks where I keep being like, I did a lot today. Don't know what I did, but I did a lot. I did a lot of whatever it was. I have things to do. I don't know what they are, but I know I have things and there's a lot of them.
So many things.
Yeah, so many things.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a weird old week, but we have just about managed to find time to wedge in some things we've played, watched and listened to.
Which
And probably played is a good place to start. That's
Probably
usually...
played.
Yeah.
we
What-
probably played some things.
Yeah, do you know anything you did play this week?
We played Little Town.
We did play Little Town.
Yeah, Little
This-
Town is an adorable board game sort of group tableau building.
Yeah, this is one you got for your hatching day.
It is. I got it from Mummy.
Yeah.
Your Mummy, not mine. I don't know.
Ah, ours now, I suppose.
Ours. Oh, Mother. No, that has horrifying
Oh
consequences.
no. But yeah,
Conversations.
it's a game about building buildings and collecting
Building a
resources.
little town.
And yeah, you've got 4 rounds, and each round you have 5 villages that you can send out to go do things, and you have a very limited number of things you can do.
You do.
Um,
And you have less people, the more basically the more people that are playing, the less work villages you get,
yeah,
and the less buildings you can build.
exactly. But the general idea is you can pop a villager down somewhere on the board, and any resource spaces that are in the 8 spaces around them, so up, down, left, and right, and diagonals, you can take those resources if you like, or you can go build a building using those resources you've collected, and place it somewhere on the board. Anyone can use it, but you get to use it for free for building it, and other people have to pay to use it. Plus, there's a bonus for doing the building.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, those are your 2 major actions.
Basically.
You are trying to get enough food to feed your workers. So by the time you've put all 5 workers out, you need to have enough either wheat, which is a thing you have to plant yourself, or fish, which can be found around the map, to feed your workers, or you're going to take some point penalties.
Yep.
And it's just try and accumulate points, try and accumulate resources that you can use to build buildings that you can use to accumulate points, while making sure you don't forget to feed your workers.
What to feed the workers?
It's real simple in terms of there's never an abundance of things you have to remember you can do. You just, here's like the maybe 3 things you can do. Do it.
Do the things. Go on.
Yeah.
Give it a go. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's surprisingly deep.
Yeah.
Because it's looks very much like, hey, it's a kid's game. There's not many parts to it. There's like pretty simple rules. I mean, the rules is basically a pamphlet.
Yeah.
We loaded a video, watched about 2 minutes of it, and when I went, I think it's just going to be easier to read the manual on this occasion, and it was.
Yeah.
It's. I imagine it's a fairly easy teach to another person. Just hand them a manual. They'll have it in 5 minutes. Yeah. Build things. We played the beginners mode, which is like there's a set of specific tiles that it recommends you do. But there are other tiles.
Yeah.
So once you've done that, you can either do like a draft them in, or you can see what people want to do.
Yeah, and there's some other stuff that mixes that up. You've got some secret objectives that are dealt out to you at the start of the game that will be things like have zero money to get some victory points, or build a building next to this type of resource on the board, or
Gain stars from 2 different buildings this turn.
yeah, that was a slightly trickier one
That
you
wasn't
had.
much trickier on it.
Mine all flowed very nicely into each other. I
Yeah.
built 3 buildings and I had enough to get all 4 of my objectives done, which is great.
You did really well.
There's definitely some room in there for engine building, because you had a nice thing going where you were like generating huge amounts of wheat that you could then directly turn wheat into victory points, and that was like adding up quite quickly for you.
Yeah, I wish I'd got on that bit earlier.
Yeah, you had a real nice thing going there for a bit.
Yeah, basically I was just too slow to get moving. As is often
Yeah.
the case in a lot of these games, it's like, I think I'm starting to get it.
It also didn't help that you miscounted how many rounds there were, so you
Yes.
thought we were on the final round when we still had a round left to go.
So I basically capped myself out as, that's it, that's the end now. Oh, bugger.
Yes, and I think that final round was where I was like, no, I'm thinking about that final round, and I put down my big castle and got some big points going.
Yeah, I'd spent a lot of food in ways that I wouldn't necessarily have done if I thought
If you
was going
knew you were
into
going to have to
it.
keep feeding workers for another round.
feeding
perhaps.
them.
I know, right? But yeah, I like its board layout. Like, there's enough different spots on the board that are good starting spots that you can look at and go, this has multiple good resources and is a beneficial place to start. Yeah, it is a nice little board game.
Very simple, but very strategic.
Yeah, very small board setup. It doesn't require a huge footprint of
It's
space.
a double-sided board, so there's
Yep.
slightly different layouts for your starting area.
Yep, it packs away in a very nice small box. It's a well-designed little game.
Yeah, and the meeples are quite delightful.
Oh, they are. They've got their little
working
tools
people,
in their
yeah.
hands. It reminds me of something like a Catan, but in a much more
Less
condensed.
colonial.
Yeah, less colonial and more condensed. It's that same sort of position yourself to get as many of the resources you need as you can, but it's got more. I don't know. It feels
It's
more.
also got less dice, no dice rolling.
Yeah,
so-
no dice rolling, and the ability to build like lots of little buildings near each other sort of feels like more like you're building an actual settlement.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
I'm settling here on the
Yeah.
grasslands.
We had our 2 little communities, and they sort of touched in the middle. There was like
I
the
built
bull-
that little statue between us.
You would have that sign on the road that's like you are entering and exiting point. But yeah, I would recommend this. It's a cute little game.
Definitely.
Definitely not an overly complicated one.
No, I think that'd be an easy one to teach. Just it's not super expensive.
Yeah.
It's very small footprint. It fits nicely on the shelf.
Yeah.
What else?
Oh, what else did we play this week? We played another board game.
We played several.
Yeah, we had our first go at the Bureau of Balance board game. The
Adventure Zone game.
The Adventure Zone game that was not a Kickstarter, but it was something like that. It was a pre-order crowdfunding thing.
Yeah.
So it's a 2 to 5 player game that is basically there to facilitate tabletop role playing. If you want to do a little 2-person tabletop adventure and don't want to have to come up with an adventure off the top of your head, or you want to throw something together on the fly, here is very basic character sheets that you largely fill in with role-playing stuff, and you have like 4 stats. Here is 3 decks of cards that will tell you the villain, the item you're trying to recover, and the location, and then you fight through the decks.
2 of them. One of them you've got to fight to not get through.
Yes, well, that was specific for the train. The other locations apparently don't do that, it seems. That was very much like, do the thing before the train reaches its destination. Choo-choo! But yeah, a lot of the cards have prompts to sort of encourage you to keep role-playing with it, and like
you can get bonuses on your score if you can say how you do the thing in an interesting story.
Yeah, it'll be like, if you answer these roleplay questions, we will give you a +1 bonus to your dice on this encounter. And generally, the dice rolling's kept really simple. You have a base number that is anything you do will have like you'll get a bonus of this much. If you do the thing you're good at, which, depending on your class, will be like, you might be good at fighting monsters or doing magic stuff, you get a higher base number. And then you've got these little tokens that you can spend on increasing other players' dice roll outputs.
Yeah.
I imagine
2-player is pretty simple because you just hand them to each other and everything.
exactly. There's an interesting mechanic for if you've got more than 2 players where if you decide not to give another player your say +2 bonus token and they roll and they're 1 shy of winning, you can give them your token after the roll, but it's only worth half as many points, so it's only worth a +1.
So we basically found every opportunity to
yeah.
do things before rolling.
Yeah, but again, the way that they narratively do it is if you're going to give someone your +2 bonus coin, you have to explain how you help them. And I think that, like, just as a straight by the numbers game, it's not necessarily a particularly in-depth, complicated game. It's add bonuses, roll the dice, did you win or not? But it's it's a vehicle for narrative.
Yeah, it's I mean, that is really all it is. It is here are some improv prompts.
I think it's the kind of thing that would work really well for I will probably take this to conventions when conventions are a thing again, because I can imagine being in the hotel and we've all had a couple of drinks and someone goes, I really fancy doing some like D&D type stuff. No one's prepped a campaign. Don't worry, I'll grab the box out. Here we go.
And also, I think with that box, you could play that with anyone.
Yeah.
Like, I've been places where people have just sort of gone, hey, let's have a D&D campaign. Or, like, a roleplay campaign. And I'd never played any D&D before. I was like, and they were playing in the Sunless Skies universe.
Yeah.
It's like, don't know the universe, don't know the plot, don't know half of the terminology.
A lot of what this deals with is broad strokes tropes. So I think for the one we did, we had a cult with an idol of some kind on a train. And the rest of it lets you and the group discuss it. So you're like, okay, what does the cult worship? Why are they on the train? What does this idol do? Why is it valuable?
So we had the Choo Choo Crew.
The Choo Choo
who
Crew.
were a cult of train worshipping fanatics who wore conductor's hats.
Yeah.
Except for their leader who wore the engineer's hat and got to ride on the loco.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's you know, there's not a huge amount of different, like, here is the villain concept, here is the idol concept, here is the location concept, but the combinations...
There's like 5 of each.
Yeah, but the combinations will inevitably lead to you coming up with different stories because of how those things combined.
Yeah.
Like, Cult and Train was what got us to Choo Choo Crew. If we had Cult or Train again, I'm sure it'd be very different. But, yeah, it is a fun exercise in just collaborative storytelling.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We had Clint McElroy as our assistant for a while.
Yeah, we had...
I must say things got a lot harder to deal with after we had lost Clint.
Yeah, Clint was...
Clint's the all-purpose friend.
Yeah, he's the all-purpose friend. He can do anything. He's just Clint, your human friend who doesn't really know why he's here.
However, when we switched over to having Merle Highchurch as our assistant, Merle was... there were several times I was like, I cannot narratively put Merle in this situation.
Yeah, whereas, like, Clint, you can always find an excuse for Clint to help.
I'm still not sure I could have put Clint in any of those tentacle situations. But we passed them, and we passed them well.
Yes. I also really like that because of the way this is structured, typically you can't really do a D&D with 2 people. Most tabletop games you need at least 3 people so you can have one person running the game and 2 people, you know, playing along. But this does very well at, like, okay, the decks of cards are setting up the scenario. You both collaboratively sort of do the DM role. Yeah,
you're collaboratively storytelling. You obviously keep checks on each other.
Yeah.
And, like, there was one time when it was just like, oh, this is going to be a really easy roll. And you were like, hang on, tell the story.
Yeah, you were like, yeah, I do this and I roll. I'm like, no, you got to tell me this. And, like, that's the thing. As long as you've got someone else to keep you accountable to make sure you do the role-playing, there's a really fun little box of stuff here.
Definitely. I think it might be quite fun to stream at some point.
I'd definitely be up for streaming this with you at some point. Yeah. The only criticism I have of it is the dice have a printing error on them. They go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, because they put the dot on the wrong side of the 6 on all the dice to make it look like it was a 9. Oh, we haven't even mentioned the Fantasy Costco mechanic.
Fantasy Costco,
where all your dreams come true, got a deal for you.
So if you scan the Fantasy Costco box It's got a QR code for Griffin's SoundCloud, where the original Fantasy Costco theme is, and I played it every single time we drew a Fantasy Costco card.
Yeah, so the idea is different cards that you challenge. Like at any one time, you can try and tackle the location or the cult or the idol or the relic, and different cards you defeat will have different difficulties and give you different levels of reward. And if you get 3 of these little reward points, you take a card from the Fantasy Costco, which might be a single-use item, it might be a permanent ongoing buff.
It might be a Raging Flaming Poisoning Sword of Doom.
It's in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a fun mechanic to keep cycling through little rewards as you went through the adventure.
We didn't get through the whole Fantasy Costco
Oh,
thing.
not by a long shot.
There's more to see.
So yeah, I was pleasantly pleased with this.
I would be fun to give that a go sometime.
Yeah.
That would definitely less likely to spin out than an attempted short D&D campaign, and also it feels more complete than attempting a home one shot, because I generally find one shots run 3-4 hours.
This probably 60 to 90 minutes you could get a group through a fairly complete feeling arc of a story. They get to fight their villain. Yeah, and
little mini decks for each one really help sort of get that arc feeling in.
Yeah, and you don't have to deal with, like, genning all of the stats for a character. You can go, I want to be this kind of character. Okay, they've got 2 numbers.
Yeah, all the rest of the stuff you fit on a character sheet really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Although we did, like, there's a space to draw in a little version of your avatar. There are, things about how is your character laid out, like, why is your character strong? What makes your character useful to the group?
They encourage you to come up with personality for your character so that when you're role-playing and making those explanations of how you do things, that you can go, aha, I use that thing that I said I have on my character sheet.
I kept popping people's heads off with my powerful thighs.
Indeed, and distracting them with your, how did you describe the smell? Unique.
A unique and distracting odour.
Unique and distracting odour. Mm-hmm. Which was a good catch-all solution to problems.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. That was, what is it, Sally McStabbins, I think?
Sally McStabbins.
Beth McStabbins.
McStabbins.
Beth McStabbins, the orc warrior.
Yeah.
And you, Lorak.
Lorak the wizard, the little Gerblin wizard.
Gerblin wizard, yeah.
Yeah, I had fun with that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, what about you? What have you played?
We played another boarded game.
Did we?
We played Steampunk Rally Fusion.
We did. Do you want to tell us about what that is?
So Steampunk Rally Fusion is the sequel, to Steampunk Rally, which is a game by Rocksteady Games, where you build a steampunk machine. So you get an inventor and a unique card that goes with that inventor card, and you put the two together to start building your machine.
Yeah.
And then each round you draw a gold, silver, bronze, and a boost card.
Yep.
You draft them between the players, and the bronze ones all have 4 connection points.
Yep.
So you can connect them in any direction.
They're very good for opening up your machine for more parts.
The silver and bronze parts will be like more towards attacking and more towards movement.
Yeah.
But they will only have 1 connection point on them, or a valve, I think they are.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Well, sometimes 2, but they won't have the full set of 4 at least.
Gold ones definitely only have the 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, it's a case of like putting this thing together and trying to move around the track, and what gives me movement, and what gives me the ability to protect myself, because there is like terrain issues. Can I move smoothly across the ground, or will I be juddering across and shaking myself to pieces?
There's a lot of simultaneous mechanics to keep in mind, and it can take a bit of wrapping your head around the game at first. So when you're drafting these cards, first of all, you have 2 options with any card. You can either take the card and, if it's a part of the machine, put it on your machine, or you can take the card and sell it, which means that you get the value in the top right of it, which might be a couple of dice to roll, or some cogs, which are useful for things later on. Mm-hmm. So you're not even just like picking all these pieces and going, I'm going to put them all on my vehicle. You might go, I'm going to pick this to get rid of it, to get these resources. Mm-hmm. The main things that you're trying to do, other than like add new parts to your ship, are you're trying to get dice to roll because you don't automatically get a certain number of dice on your turn.
You don't automatically move. You have to generate movement.
Yeah, you have to generate movement, and you have to generate dice with which to do the movement. So if you want to, like, let's say there's a card that gives you movement every time you roll more than a 3 on a blue die, you need to get some blue die and then roll more than 3 on them. And let's say you did that. You managed to get a blue 3, and you put it in the slot, and your vehicle moves. That blue die doesn't go away. And that's just a slot that's taken up now. You can't put another blue 3 there later to move again. That slot's used up. So that's where the cogs come in.
Well, there's all sorts of ways you could use them. Like there's the vent phase where you can spend cogs to remove pips from dice, so you can either count them down.
Yeah, so for that 3 blue, if you spend, you get 2 pips off per cog, is it?
Cog, yeah.
Yeah, so if you spent 2 cogs, you could get rid of that 3 dice, and then you've got that space open to put another blue die in there later and move again.
You can split those cog values against multiple die if you want.
Yeah, you can use the cogs to either re-roll a die or to knock up its pip value by 1 if it's just shy of what you needed it to be. Cogs are very useful for a lot of things.
Yeah.
And you mentioned smooth terrain as well. So every now and then there'll be spaces that have like a damage value on them.
Yeah.
And you can cross that space, but if you do, you will lose that many pieces off your vehicle unless you do smooth movement, which might be like wings that fly you over it safely, or some kind of special wheels that get you over it.
Or if you just manage to put up some kind of shielding.
Yeah, that's it as well. You can build shielding, which means that like you'll take away the shielding rather than taking parts off your ship.
There's a little aspect of engine building, because you might have one thing that you... basically every time you have a chance to flip this light bulb.
Yeah.
Which activates all of the cards in your machine that have a light bulb symbol on. Most of those will generate some form of die. But sometimes you'll roll a dice, spend it, and it will have a value in, okay, you can move forward 1, and also you will have generated the ability to remove a dice of a different colour, or of the same colour.
Which can then free up your cogs to use for rerolls and for knocking up dice values if you don't have to use them to remove things from your engine. And you physically lay all these pieces out sort of as they fit on the machine, and often it doesn't make any sense and it looks nonsensical, but that's half the fun.
But it is quite fun sort of looking at this thing and going, okay, it's got like spider legs and a cow catcher on the front, but the front is also slightly further back.
It's got some wheels that don't touch the floor anymore because I put other wheels lower down.
It's got a Triceratops skull on the front of it for ramming opponents.
Yeah, you need some space to lay out these vehicles.
Yeah,
they're gonna
you can rearrange them at any time.
Yeah, and I like that there's no penalty for that. It's you can buy a new piece and go, I've got nowhere to fit it, but if I shuffle these around, there we go, I can fit it in here now.
And if you take damage and you have to lose pieces, you have to make sure that you'll still have a complete machine thereafter.
Yeah, so you can pick which bits get damaged, so long as you can still put the pieces that are left together. Yeah, and it's just this little quick dash along this haphazard course.
Yeah, and so basically fusion is all of that, plus there's a new type of die and a bunch of new inventors.
Yeah,
so technically the one I got as the Kickstarter is Atomic Edition, which is both Steampunk Rally and Steampunk Rally Fusion.
Yeah, which play perfectly well combined into one game.
Yep, it's a big old box with an awful lot of stuff in it. It's got all the track from the original plus all new track, plus event cards.
Yeah.
There are just so many inventors in there.
Oh god, yeah, we've played like 4 of them, and there's like this whole huge stack, and they all have
like
unique
20
abilities.
or so.
And then the version we've got also came with some novelty additional ones.
So we've got Rube Goldberg, who's just
I want to try the
giant
Rube
card
Goldberg
with
machine.
So many attachments.
Yeah. It's a really fun little game.
Yeah. It's a fun. I would like to try this in higher numbers because I imagine it gets ridiculous.
Oh, chaotic as hell, I imagine.
And certainly also in higher numbers, the fact that you can you all play simultaneously during the race phase. Because we were mostly playing like, okay, you take a turn, I'll take a turn, we'll work out like how our movement stuff works.
Yeah.
Until quite late in the game when we were like, okay, let's just play simultaneously as the rules state.
Yeah. As long as you've got a group that you can sort of trust to do simultaneous turns with.
Why not?
Well, exactly. There's a lot... Here's the thing. It makes sense to play simultaneously because there is a lot of shit to manage.
Yes.
Your vehicle will have, like, Okay, well, I'm gonna have to do like 12 steps on this before anyone else gets a turn. So let's just all work it out at once.
Everyone's going to sit there and work through their engine and how that
Yeah.
works and how far they're moving. And also, like, because you'll be moving, like, a couple of moves at a time
Yeah.
during that
It's
whole
got
phase.
this nice back and forth feel to the race.
You could be sort of looking up at the board and going, oh, they're going massively ahead of me.
Yeah, it's nice watching the sort of you move a few, they move a few, you move a few, all within one turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a really delightful game. It's a little daunting at first, but once you get into it, it's really simple.
Yeah, it's another one of those games that's got a huge amount of iconography on it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh god, I've got to internalise all of this before we can play properly.
You have to get over that hurdle of being able to look at a card and instantly understand, oh, I see what this is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes a minute.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
But I think anything other than the official
Yeah.
gameplay video for how to play that would work well.
Yeah, I like what they tried to do with the official gameplay video, where they did it in character, in outfits. I
I'm
like
sure
the
if you're
concept.
neurotypical, that's probably fine.
Yeah, I couldn't follow it because I was like, story but instructions, but story but instructions.
They're doing silly voices and they're all dressed up in steampunk gear, and it's fun. But I struggled to find the information I needed from that.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, it's a fun game. I definitely want to play more of that.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to tell us about your latest speedrun?
Yeah, I've been doing more speedrunning, so not content to have all of the speedrun records for Cookin' Mama Cookstar, I decided, let's look what other games have speedrun categories available that no one has ever speedrun, and I saw another insert something, a blank mama game, Babysitting Mama on the Wii from over a decade ago is a game that no one has ever speedrun. I found a copy of the game secondhand, but new in box, completely unopened for £10 with the baby controller.
Yes, the baby controller, which seems to have, like, eyeliner on.
Yeah. So, it's a plush baby with, like, a gap in its spine that you slide a Wii Remote into, and then you, like, tape its neck up in order to, like, keep the Wii Remote in place. And
It's a hideous concept.
it's a hideous concept. Fun fact, anytime you have to reset the game mid-run because, like, you've made an error and you can't back out of the menu, you have to very quickly be like, quick, get the baby's spine out and hit the home button, which is a bit conceptually horrifying. But it's basically a Cookin' Mama game, but for babysitting. You have 6 babies that you do various minigames by shaking this motion-controlled baby around. No, please don't shake the baby.
Shake the baby.
Every single minigame, at the end of it, it brings up a screen that says, no, please don't shake the baby. Mama says never shake the baby.
Did you shake the baby?
Good babysitters never shake the
Or
baby.
did you shake the baby?
Not intentionally, but sometimes when you're, like, burping the baby, you hit it slightly too hard on the back and the game registers that as a shake of the baby. And, like, no! And several of the minigames involve you, like, making rapid movements with the baby. Like, we're taking the baby and going up and down.
Doing
Isn't
uppies,
that
yeah.
fun? Yeah, doing uppies. But the game's like, don't shake the baby. I'm like, well, you told me to do these movements up and down. I'm
So
doing
is there going to be a
them.
any percent no shaking?
We had about 5 incorrect accusations of shaking through this 5-hour run. So, like, about once an hour the game thought we'd shaken the baby when we hadn't.
I'd be curious to know if it is possible to do a speed run of this game
I mean-
without, or even a run of this game without even once.
I mean, the Wii Remote's motion sensing is not perfect.
No, it is not.
I feel like it would be frustrating to try and do that. But yeah, it's... So, there are some fundamental differences speedrunning this game compared to, say, Cookin' Mama Cookstar. The biggest being, because the developers very clearly did not want to get in any trouble for accusations of neglecting a child, you cannot do... So, you know, in Cookstar, there's a lot of steps you can just completely fuck up to save time. Like, a
Goes in the
lot.
oven, it comes out of the oven.
Yeah, you put it in the oven and take it straight back out uncooked, for example. When looking after a baby, there are a lot fewer ways that you can deliberately fuck up in order to end the minigame early. Because
Surely immediately removing the baby from the oven is the best way to do it.
Yeah, So lots of mini games, if you like deliberately fail them, the game will just keep going until the timer runs out. But there are some you can deliberately skip for time saves.
Okay.
Mostly ones involving either games that you play with the child or errands that Mama is doing by herself. So playing peekaboo with the child, just fucking run in front of the child's field of vision straight away 3 times.
Here.
Be like, I'm here. Don't make any attempt to be secretive. If the baby's throwing toys at you and you're supposed to catch them, deliberately don't catch them, let them hit you in the face. Things like that.
Just like the most broken parent.
Yeah.
Fine.
And anytime that it's like,
fine.
Mama's trying to catch the dog, sprint as fast as you can, then don't turn around when it tells you to turn around. She just fall flat on her face. She's got to run to the shop before it closes. Just let her slip over in that puddle and hit her face on the floor. She won't make it to the shop in time, but you'll save some time.
Is that why that bunny looks so grumpy?
But I had a surprisingly fun time speedrunning this today.
Do you think you can shave more time off it?
I certainly could. I don't know if I will try to at any point soon.
Okay.
So I had fun. I looked at how long to beat, and it reckoned it was going to be about 7 hours to complete. And I did my first, my all babies, all mini games, any percent, so I didn't worry about what rating I got. In about 4 hours 53 minutes. It's a little shy of 5 hours, cut about 2 hours off of the expected time, which is good. The all gold medals category, I don't know if I'm ready for yet. There's a few mini games that I actively cannot get gold medals on, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. There's one about making silly faces where it's a very, very, very fast roulette. You know, in Mario World, where you had try and line up the bits of the mushroom and then you'd get a mushroom.
Mario 3.
Was that Mario 3?
Yeah.
Right. Mario 3, where you're trying to do that. Imagine that, but moving infinitely faster.
Okay.
And having to stop it using motion controls, which don't always register terribly well. There's a couple of mini games like that I would need to practice in my own time and get better at doing before I could attempt the all gold medals run, which I don't think would be that much longer than 5 hours. It's just a case of I need to get better at those mini games. And there's some individual categories for just get through all the steps of this baby as fast as possible. So that's another 6
Baby
world
steps.
Exactly. So there's another 6 world records I could pick up, that each of which would take me probably 45 to 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is that's a very manageable amount of time to do a run. It's not like this where I was like, oh god, how long to beat says I need 7 hours to try this. I had a very fun time though. By the time that we finished doing the stream, we had 100 people watching. Sometimes this game is weird and creepy and kind of unsettling, but at times this game is genuinely quite sweet and heartwarming and kind of adorable. And I've kind of grown to like this terrible game. I would not recommend it to play just in your own time for your own, to play it for
Not
its
for
own sake.
entertainment.
No, but it's a fun little weird gimmicky game that is fun to play with other people, and I'm not having a bad time speedrunning it. I'm actively having fun with this kind of broken silly concept. So yeah, Babysitting Mama. That's the new thing that I've been speedrunning.
Oh heck.
Yeah, apparently this is what I do now. The Twitch chat's really into me speedrunning games.
Well, they're all about Mr. Rattle.
Exactly, Mr. Rattle. Yeah. At some point on the stream, I told some story that was a bit sad. I can't remember what it was, and chat was like, "Oh, we're a bit bummed out now." It's yeah, but the baby's in the game. Mr. Rattle helps. Can you do Mr. Rattle for us? I was yeah, here you go. Shake the nunchuck. Yay! In the chat. Which was adorable.
I feel like there needs to be a rattle controller.
Yeah.
Like a shell that you put the nunchuck in.
I finished that speedrun, and the first tweet I got from someone who'd watched it was, when are we getting a Mr. Rattle emote for the chat?
Well. You've got a baby...
Yeah.
Laura K baby.
I got a Laura K baby now to go with the Laura K chef emotes. We're getting steadily more Laura speedrunning adjacent emotes for the channel, because apparently this is what I do now. So yeah, what about you? What have you played this week?
I played a bit more Deep Rock Galactic, which is to say I played probably another day's worth of Deep Rock Galactic.
I played some more of it with you and had a lot of fun. We played some more with the friend that introduced it to us.
Yeah, it was nice.
I did really like that game.
Yeah, I'm having a really good time with
Those
it.
escort missions are so fun.
Yes. Yeah, I like Doretta. Doretta good.
Directed the big drill. Yeah, I like the boss fights with the big geode egg at the end.
That's very strange, but yeah, really enjoying that. Yeah, it continues to be a really satisfying gameplay loop. I have promoted my first dwarf now. Oh, correction from last week. We found the non-white skins.
Oh, yes. So they exist in a wardrobe, but not in the store.
Yeah.
We both missed them, and I think that's a testament to the fact that they're not terribly well signposted.
It also doesn't help that in all of the promo pictures, all of the dwarfs are white.
Indeed, and it defaults you to a white starting dwarf, and like the shop is the main place where I was like, here I will find customization options.
Yes.
Didn't realise there were some customization options that already existed that I just hadn't found.
It's a weird choice because it really feels like you should get a chance to go, hey, who do you want to be?
Yeah, it should go. These are your starting customization options. Which would you like?
Yeah,
I
realise it wants to get you into that tutorial as quickly as possible. But
yeah, I get that, but equally,
how much melanin you want? Cool, send me in.
Yeah, it feels weird that there was no signposting of, hey, you've started with some customization options, go check them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm continuing to have a really good time playing little sessions.
It's become my dilation game.
Yeah.
I can just sit there for an hour and dilate and just
I got a new gun and it's really good.
Yes, you got the Big Bertha, isn't it?
Yeah, I have to occasionally reload it, but and it doesn't fire as fast, but the shots it fires are considerably beefier.
Looks like a flat cannon.
Yeah, it does a lot less. That first primary gun for the gunner is like it's a bit scattershot, and then the longer you do it, the more precise it becomes.
Yeah,
whereas
it's a
this
minigun. The faster it spins,
whereas this is fairly precise from the get-go. You don't have to spin it up before it's accurate.
Longer barrels.
Yeah, but it continues to be a real blast to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've promoted the engineer once.
Yep.
I am most of the way to promoting a scout now as well. Over halfway through doing that. I might try the driller after that and see how that do. I've unlocked like loads of extra stuff to do. So yeah, and it was quite funny because we went from, hey James, you want to come and play some Deep Rock Galactic? We'll do this all together. We'll do it for my birthday. We'll hang out and play that.
Yeah.
To a week later, okay, now here's all the pro strats, and I'll teach you how to go around this place, and I'll show you this like whole new mission type that you haven't even seen before.
Yeah, you've gotten real deep into it. I wish I had the time to, because it's been so fun when I've played it.
I don't have the time, but I'm squeezing it in with other things while I'm squeezing things in. Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably have time to play more of it with you if I wasn't speedrunning.
Yeah, if you will spend 7 hours a day playing a game, you could spend a couple of hours a day playing a different game. Yeah. Well, I think that's all we've played.
I think that is everything we've played.
Well then.
Time for this.
Oh, this game's getting really popular. I think maybe I should check that out.
No.
What's wrong, Brain?
No.
But everyone's playing it. All my friends play it. I could get involved in that.
I don't know. Yeah.
But all the people are streaming it. Maybe.
Seems like a lot of social pressure. No. You really want to be doing the thing that everyone's doing.
I guess not. No. 5 years later.
You can engage with the thing now.
The what?
From before, the thing, it was the popular thing from before.
The game.
Yeah.
I guess it's probably on sale at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Steam sale. Give that a whirl.
Do it. Yeah.
This is brilliant. Why did I never get to this before? This is great. Oh, but there's no one online. Thanks, Brain.
No, then only now.
Thanks, Brain.
Yay! I'm happy. Our house.
Oh, come on, Sneeze. I've been at this for like 5 minutes. I look like a fool.
No, I'm shy. no.
Just come out. Just come out. It'll be fine.
No, see me, I'm shy. Oh no. No.
Bless you. Oh, you've chased it off now. Sneeze. Come on, sneeze. Come on.
No, I'm not coming out now.
I'm all congested.
No, I'm not doing it now.
We've already had a bless you.
No. They didn't wait for my turn.
It's your turn now. Have your turn.
No, I go first, then they say bless you. They didn't wait, so no.
Oh, my head feels bloody. Boo. And also hiss. Come on.
No.
You found outwhining me. So, what have you put in your eye meats?
I've not put a lot in my eye meats this week. It's been more of a play week than a watched week. I've been really enjoying watching a playthrough of Demon Souls on YouTube.
Yeah, I watched some of that.
Yeah, so this is on the Wooly Versus channel. The episodes are called Reggie versus Demon Souls. So Wooly, who runs the channel, is a big Souls game player. He likes his Souls games, is pretty good at them, knows all the lore, all that sort of thing. And his friend Reggie has never played a Souls game before, so this is very much I'm going to introduce you to your first Souls experience, but I'm going to do so in a very informative, helpful, supportive way. And it's been really nice to watch a Souls playthrough of someone's first experience of that game with like a supportive hand that isn't just going get good. Wooly is doing a really good job of walking the line between I will give you help when you want and are ready for it, but I will also just give you room to work it out yourself and encourage you and go, I know that you're struggling right now, but you can get through this. And a lot of, look, we've all been here, we've all struggled at this, you will get through it.
Think about what's happening.
Yeah, lots of opportunities to ask open questions of like, okay, you tell me why that went wrong, you think it through. Lots of asking the right questions to get the player thinking the things he needs to think about to get better. And like, it's just been some good, wholesome Souls content.
Yeah. Which is unheard of in my experience.
I know, it's been really nice to experience that with a fresh set of eyes in a way that didn't feel like the new person was being told just get better.
Do it.
Yeah.
Good.
So I highly recommend it. I've been watching that playthrough and very much enjoying just secondhand watching someone's first Souls experience.
Yeah, it's been good and supportive.
Yeah, what about you? What have you been watching?
Oh, I've been, I've returned to one of my Udemy courses.
Yeah, which one?
I think it's like music production in FL Studio, it's called.
Okay.
I am not going to name drop the person because I'm about to completely slate it. So it was one of the first ones I got last year, shortly after getting FL Studio.
Yeah.
So it would have been June, July?
Yeah, around the summer.
Around the summertime. So I was like, I'll just get a nice course that will give me like a nice overview of the thing, learn how to use it, and like get some of the basics down. And it kind of did that.
Yeah.
Like, I had got most of the information that I got from this free from watching YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And what I'd been hoping for from Udemy was something more concise than a YouTube video and more consistent over
something
over a
that felt
period.
more like a knowledgeable professional put together a proper course.
Exactly. So I went through the whole course, and it was one of the ones that I went through it. I was disappointed with it, but I didn't refund it.
Yeah.
Like, there is a satisfaction guarantee. It was like, okay, I did learn some things. I know how to use some of the features. I understand more than I did when I started. So you can keep the 12 quid or whatever it was for that course. Didn't rate it very highly. Lots of other people hadn't rated it very highly. And about 2 months ago, he added a whole extra section of, okay, I'm going to make a track from start to finish to show you how you would do that. Rather than just going, here is a tool, this is how it works. Here is another tool, this is how it works.
Yeah, showing you it all put in together.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So he takes a track from YouTube and just goes, here is a modern track in, I think it's like Future Bass.
Yeah.
not a genre I'm particularly familiar with. And he was like, okay, right, so listen to it. Here's the intro is about 16 bars. Here is this bit. Here is the drop. Here is another verse. Here is the other drop. Here is the end bit. This is how long it is. So here are labels across the top. That's how long we've got to make this bit of it. Okay, so I'm listening to the track. I'm hearing this kind of drum, this kind of drum, this kind of drum. Okay, let's make a drum pattern. Here is how you make a drum pattern. Here's how you make a pattern. Here is it on the board. Okay, we're going to lay that out. Okay, next thing is I'm hearing this kind of sound. Okay, this is a little sound design bit. I'm going to teach you how to make that sound design. Okay, now it does this thing. That is basically an automation clip where they're moving a filter of some kind.
Yeah.
And it'll be and from the respect of this is how to strip down and rebuild a track, which I've been told by other producer friends is one of the best things you as a newbie producer can do. Find a track you like and just completely remake it using your own stuff so that you understand the techniques.
Yeah. Learning the technical, like, what are the building blocks that made this and how could you do this? Yeah.
That I very much respect, but he's doing it so badly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, I've now learned, like, a bunch of other stuff in the 8 months since then. Like, I've made a lot of tracks of my own. I've watched, like, tons of other people instruct me on how to make stuff.
Are you heading towards you could probably teach better ways of doing some of these things than he is teaching?
I wouldn't. Because I'm not a very good teacher. Like,
no,
I've been a shop manager before, and part of that was training staff. It's like you know
that there are better techniques that you are not being taught.
There are better techniques and better tools, even within the software that he has available.
Yes.
That he's teaching.
He has not learnt as much about how to do this.
Or he has, but he just decides to use it in such a way. I think he's trying to do it in such a way that you can do it with the free edition of FL Studio.
Maybe.
It's like, oh, okay, that. I mean, you can't even save tracks in that, so...
Yeah.
I don't know why you would do it that way, but there is, like, so much stuff, and it's just like, why are you using that tool? Why are you using it this way? Like, I'm pretty sure this thing exists in all versions of SRL Studio as well, but you're not using it... You're using it in a really convoluted way, and then, like, halfway through a bit going, this doesn't actually do what I wanted it to do, so I'm going to have to just leave it as it is, and it's not very good. Sorry. If you'd used the other tool, and, like, you'd used a bus for your effects, rather than, like, specifically just trying to put, something on multiple different tracks and rig it together. It's like, no, why did you do this? And then, like, all the chapter titles for the things, like, okay, here's a bit of sound design, and then he spends 15 minutes trying to just lay out some chords. It's like, that's not really a sound design thing. Okay, we're going to do some arrangement. No, that's just you trying to lay out 4 chords again for 15 minutes. And then going, no. And then at the end of the video going, I've scrapped all that and started again. It's like, then just delete this video.
Exactly. What you do is you do it, you fuck it up and go, okay, I'm not gonna put this video out to the paying people. I will remake it and I will do it the right way, and once we get it right, that's the video I'll put out.
It feels like he got very bad ratings and like a few slightly narkier than mine reviews and just went, okay, fine, I'll do a thing, and then just slapped it off in an afternoon.
Yeah, that really doesn't
sound good. I hate
good.
watching it now.
Wow.
I admire the fact that he is certainly remaking that not very interesting track. Have you watched anything else?
I've been watching some YouTube videos from a creator called Carl Jobst. Mm-hmm. Basically, he does a lot of videos about speedrunning, and
he's got some of these.
Yeah, he's got some interesting ones. I've watched some of his stuff before, but the one in particular that I found really interesting this week was a video about impossible tricks in speedrunning and the danger of muscle memory in those situations. So sometimes there will be tricks in speedrunning in old games that are theoretically possible and that tool-assisted speedruns can do, but that are so unlikely that a human player is very, 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 very unlikely to ever do them, that can save you time in runs. A really good example of this is there is a level in Mario Kart 64 that has a train track on it, and
with the fence.
Yeah, with the fence. So you can't typically go through the fence. But if you boost at exactly the right angle and jump at exactly the right time and get it frame perfect, you can jump through the fence. And you can save several seconds off your time. You're unlikely to be able to do it on all 3 laps of a race, but if you could do it once, if you could do it on your first lap, it would put you well on the route to setting a new world record that would be very difficult to beat.
Okay.
And it's theoretically possible, but highly unlikely. The stats were like, if you were to do this all day, every day, it would probably take you about 20 years to pull it off successfully once because it is so randomization based.
And then someone did it.
Oh, no, it's not even that. Someone did it after hours and hours and hours of trying. They'd spent about a week and a half trying.
But they were so used to failure.
Yes, exactly. That they did it, boosted through the thing, and by the time they realised they'd done it, they'd already hit start and gone down to retry and gone, oh my god, I did the thing. And
you'd already paused it. Yes, the counter's still running.
Yes, and there's another example from GoldenEye 64 where if you switch weapon while pushing into a doorway at exactly the right frame, you can jump through this doorway and save 3 seconds off your level time. And the advice that is given from the video is basically just, look, muscle memory happens. It's gonna happen. Don't worry about it. What you need to do is have a second or so's buffer after you need to go, trick hasn't worked, wait a second, now I'll reset, and make that your muscle memory. So that you have that second or so in there that if you do it successfully, you don't instantly reset, that you've got that second or so to realise, fuck, I did it. And just, the importance of building a buffer into your own reset structure so that you don't accidentally do one of those.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting video. What about you? You watched anything else?
Not a huge amount. I watched the new Gymquisition.
As did I. It was a very good video.
Yeah, it was a very good... I'm very much enjoying Jim's new, not just the format of the sort of here is new segment, and I'm going to have a word about those, but just I'm not afraid to get a bit ranty about things that really matter.
Yeah,
I enjoy the passion and the fire there, and that's been really good.
Also, very nice to see Friend out and presenting in video, and I'm glad that everyone was very supportive of them.
Very much so. Very much so. It was lovely to see James Stephanie Sterling introduced to the world at large. Obviously, we have encountered a little in private before now, but it's been really nice that that's been well received. But I also felt yes, very important to
but also, it was just a good video outside of that, right?
It's a really good video with lots of good points that were made that I feel got completely lost under the swell of love.
Exactly. It's both are simultaneously true things.
Yes.
It was a very good episode, but also
love. We love you.
Yeah.
And you look awesome.
Indeed.
Yeah. I think that's everything we watched then.
I think that's everything we watched then.
Well then.
Time for this.
Laura, we've got a new sponsor.
Who's our new sponsor?
Well, do you have somewhere to be?
No, not right now.
But, okay, what if you didn't even leave town?
Well,
But you did leave home.
I mean, that's about as far as I can go right now with the whole pandemic. Are you suggesting I take a nice, put my mask on and go for a nice socially distant walk and then, I'll be back home within the hour?
What about a hotel? We could just get a hotel. A weekend away.
Yeah, but we have a house and we don't have to pay for that and it's here.
But the really, really cheap hotel rooms are now available.
I see. This is our sponsor, I see.
This is our sponsor. Well, I said we've got a new sponsor.
Yeah, I suppose you did, so... I
did the whole, Laura, got a new sponsor.
Yeah, okay, so is the suggestion here from this company that we just book a hotel room to just, I don't know, stay in by ourselves with no other people, not seeing anyone, not leaving the room, just being in a hotel room?
Yeah.
When we could be in our own homes?
Yeah.
Look, I can't blame them for trying. No one's fucking booking hotels right now, I imagine.
No, it sounds like they are pretty desperate.
Yeah, okay. How cheap we talking here?
Pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Like £30 a night.
I mean, I mean, there is something alluring about the thought of just being
Somewhere that isn't.
somewhere that isn't. Yeah, yeah. But, like, I don't trust a place that isn't my own home to be safe right now.
No, indeed.
Like, I wouldn't trust myself to go enjoy the breakfast buffet in the morning.
Oh, no, they don't know. That's all closed.
Oh, that's all closed. Okay,
all
that
the
makes sense.
facilities are closed. There's no pool. There's no gym.
It's literally just here's a bed and a TV and a shower.
Yeah, and you probably
okay.
shouldn't turn the aircon on.
You probably shouldn't, no.
No.
You should probably keep the mask on the whole time you're in the room, to be
Probably.
honest.
Don't touch anything.
Yeah, but like...
Especially not any of the soft, the shiny surfaces.
Yeah, but you would be somewhere that wasn't your house.
Exactly.
And it has been a while, right?
Right? Exactly. I think that is the tempting thing.
Yeah.
Also, 30 quid is not that good for a hotel room.
No, like
Especially
that's...
not when there's nothing else.
Look,
you
at
can
this
do.
at this point, if you pay me 30 quid, maybe we'll think about it.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Only maybe.
Only maybe, and I will be bringing like 30 quid's worth of sanitizer, which will,
Yeah. Take me most of the weekend to
Yeah.
clean the room.
yeah.
Yes. Well, that's cheap hotel. Really cheap hotel rooms.lol.net and enter the code QNPS152.
Oh, I'm loving their tagline. Please fucking come stay here.
And it's just like, please. And I
Yeah.
like how they use capitals and lowercase letters to really convey that.
Ah,
Yeah. Well then.
time for this.
Inside the boardroom of Electronic Actor Softworks.
Hi.
How's business treating you this week?
Yeah, it's good. Real good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I have flogged some people. I have made an awful lot of money. I fired a bunch of people
See,
in the middle of a pandemic.
See, I'm glad it's going so well for you. I do have one thing that's been a bit of a problem for us this week.
Problems.
Yeah, we've unfortunately got a problem. So
Not problems.
we had one of our staff doing a Twitch stream or something
Yeah,
promoting the game, and some people were asking, as they've been doing for a while, for us to put some disabled support in our game for people who don't see colors or something.
That sounds like work that
That's-
they're not paying for.
Exactly. But like, you can't say that, right?
Yeah.
We know that we can't say
I mean,
it,
I
but
just
that's
did,
the thing.
but-
Yeah. The guy said it on stream and was like, "Hey, stop expecting us to make games accessible for you," and got on a bit of a shouting tangent at disabled people, which is
That's
not
not good optics.
not good optics for the brand. We need to work out how we can deal with this because, like, it's very obvious we've not been making anything for disabled people here. No.
No.
But like now there's a lot of pressure on us.
Can we put out a solemn JPEG?
Well, I mean, I'm sure we can put out a solemn JPEG. What do we do? We maybe say, we're sorry, we don't stand behind the opinions of our staff member.
Yeah, we're
and-
sorry for any distress this may have
Yeah.
caused, anything
Yeah.
you felt.
So, like, I was thinking, like, the way to smooth this over would be to announce the thing they were asking for and to be, like, vague and be like, it's coming at some point just to get some good headlines. We don't actually have
Yeah,
to go
but
into,
we'll say, like, we've been working on this for ages.
That's it. That's brilliant. Yeah, you didn't make us make this. We were making it all along, and this just accelerated our announcement timetable. That's all.
we this is not the circumstances we would have chosen to announce it.
No, you forced us to announce
Yeah,
it like
yeah.
this by being so pushy with your requests.
Yeah, I mean,
for
we
it,
were
but-
trying to keep this as a nice surprise for you.
Yeah, but no, you've made it into a whole, unpleasant affair. But
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
we'll announce that actually we've been don't you feel bad about badgering for it now?
Yeah.
Because we were working on it already.
Yeah. And
I
that
think-
guy still has a job.
Exactly. He's still got a job, and we can make them seem like the villains, even though we weren't really doing
Yeah,
anything.
he is the MD's son.
Exactly. You are a fucking genius.
I know.
So, what have you put in your ear meats?
I've really not listened to much at all this week. I'm going to be relying on you very much this week.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to be a short listened, I think.
Mhm.
I've not listened to a lot other than, here's an observation about Babysitting Mama. There's a piece of music in it that, the first time I played it, I was convinced that it was just playing the Pokemon Center music from Pokemon. And when I streamed this for 5 hours today, about 15-20 times during the stream, someone would come in and go, "Is that the Pokemon Center music playing?" It's not. It's clearly not, but there's There's about three to four bars in the middle of it that go, that's fucking Pokemon Center music, and then it moves on to do something different. Yeah, so that's I've listened to a lot of the backing music to Babysitting Mama. Did you know that the baby cries out of the Wii remote?
Ooh.
And that sets off the bit of my brain that's like, oh no, I must fix baby. So that's what I've been listening to this week. What about
Sound
you?
of a crying child.
The sound of a crying child over the Pokemon Center theme.
Sounds like a hellscape.
It's been that and chill beats to relax and study to while I write.
Oh, nice.
What about
I
you?
like those. I've brought long-term listeners of the show will know that I occasionally listen to the 1981 BBC radio dramatisation of Lord of the Rings.
You do this from time to time.
I do. I've done it ever since I was a child. As a kid, I used to listen to it on repeat constantly.
Now you do it like once or twice a year, probably.
It's probably close to once every year or every 2 years. I found like a nice digital copy. I think it was last year.
Yeah,
And then a couple of days ago, because Phoenix got me War of the Ring, the board game,
yes,
for my hatching day.
which we've yet to play because we need to really set some time out to bunker in on that one.
I've watched 2 hours of instructional videos and like 20 minutes of strategy videos for that game, and I'm still pretty sure that it's going to be like an hour of setup, going through and trying to understand everything. It's not going to click until we're actually sitting and playing it, I don't think.
but I'm excited to play the thing.
Yeah, definitely. It is a huge sprawling war game with slightly risk elements, but there's like lots of stuff to mitigate all the dice as well, so hopefully I won't have a complete strop with that like I did with Risk.
I reckon we'll be alright.
Yeah, we're fine.
Half the problem with Risk is often the person you're playing against, so I think it'll be alright.
Oh, God!
Yeah. Bad Risk players.
Bad Risk players.
Or unpleasant Risk players.
It was a very unpleasant person.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everyone has that story of, oh, that bad person I played Risk with once.
Just the drug dealer I used to share a flat with. We used to sit in his room with the two Lithuanians that he was harbouring from the border services.
Yeah.
Because they lost their visas. So they weren't supposed to be living there anymore. They were working at our local Domino's and living in the corner of his bedroom.
Goodness.
So we would listen to a CD he got from a copy of The Guardian on repeat, and Weezer's The Blue Album on repeat for hours and hours and hours and play Risk.
So Lord of the Rings board game made you think of the audiobook?
Yes.
Because I think the last time you listened to that was about the start of lockdown. It was around then.
Last year? Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Found a copy of it. It's very good. There are some fantastic voices in that.
Yeah.
There's some, because you got Jean Lemessurier who plays Bilbo. You got Ian Holm who plays Frodo, which is fun because he played Bilbo in the movies. I can't remember who plays Gandalf. It's whoever used to voice the Paddington Bear.
Oh yes,
animation back in the 70s. Gosh. There are some classic old British cinema voices. Lots of good radio voices in there. It's just honey to listen to. The music's really good. And it's kind of the soundtrack of my childhood, so it's been nice to sort of have me annual reminisce over that and enjoy a bit of that while preparing to play Lord of the Rings, the horrifying war game. Woo!
Yeah.
What about you?
Honestly, not much else. It's just been background. It's been lots of chill beats to do all of my writing projects too. I have like 3 writing... I've got a book finishing, a book that I need to finish so it can be printed, and a book starting.
A book launching in like a week?
I have a book launching, by the time this goes up, a book launching in less than a week, a book that I am trying to get ready to go to the printers, and one that I've barely started making, and all of them are happening at once. Why do I do this to myself? Shit.
It's gender you fought in.
It's bound like a proper book.
Yes, I am holding in my hand and book.
That's a good sizable book.
An uncorrected proof, June 2021.
Indeed. It's got all the information on the back of here's how you can reach my publicist and the trade organisers if you want to order 1 billion copies, and what the cover's going to look like, because they didn't put the cover on the front because they don't want you to think it's a finished copy.
No selling that.
No, it's clearly like not the
That's a
finished
limited
one.
edition pre-release.
Yeah.
Worth a fortune one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's everything I've listened to.
Well then.
Time for this.
Arr, more grog.
More grog. Right, let me tell you a story.
Tell us a story.
I was out at sea last night.
Right.
There was a huge wave came across the horizon. It was bigger than any I've seen. Bigger than the tallest building. And from behind this wave came a huge shark. Had to steer me ship away. Hard turn to starboard. Barely made it out with me life.
That's quite an incredible tale. I've got a tale now. Let me tell you the tale of the time I encountered a crab, the like of which no man has seen before, nor woman neither, nor envy.
Arr.
Never before seen. It had claws the size of your arm.
Arr.
Arr. And it had eye stalks the length of your arm.
Arr.
And it had legs the length of your arm.
Arr.
And a shell as wide as any man could lie down in a bed.
Arr.
Or woman lie down in a bed.
Or anyone like
Or
that.
anyway, I should really be, just from the start, really, I suppose, rather than just bringing them in at the end there, I suppose, yes.
Arr.
Such a crab as like as never been seen.
Arr.
Fed the crew for a week. Arr, arr, arr.
Arr, what about you over there? You got a story? Yeah, I suppose I have a story. I was out at sea.
Arr.
Whirling vortex. Out of the thing comes these all these tentacles, huge
kraken
tentacles, probably suckers on it the size of
Suckers.
suckers on it the size of herb caps, and huge tentacles.
Huge.
Yeah.
And how did you escape that, by the way?
What?
Escape the terrible.
Oh,
monster that you...
yes, I definitely escaped. I ran away very fast. I did. Yarr. 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 I may have stayed with it for a while. Yarr.
There'll be no kink shaming here. Yarr!
Yarr.
So I'm trying to work out what kind of man I should be dating.
Okay, what are your options?
Well, there's the betas. They're just sort of nice guys, I guess. They're not natural leaders necessarily. I reckon I could probably sit and enjoy what you feel. Maybe go for a nice country.
Yeah.
With the beta, they, not necessarily super assertive. I might need to be the one that goes, "What are we eating?"
Yeah.
And they might go, "Oh, you guess, you choose." I don't mind, but they do mind.
They do.
They do mind. Well, I think we could probably work around that. I mean,
Yeah.
and then after that, there's the alpha.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them too, yeah.
Yeah, they believe in this whole thing about wolves that was never actually true. Something to do
Oh
with
yeah,
captivity and...
that thing where they behaved weird because they were stuck in a tiny enclosure, and that's not actually how wolves work.
Yeah, and they just think that aggressive is a form of personality.
Yeah, being an asshole is a personality trait. I'm not thinking that's for
sold
you.
on that one.
No.
Okay, so there's this new one they've announced, the Sigma.
Oh, they're announcing new man types.
New man types, I guess it's like
New-
the new
new man
Pokemon
just
release.
dropped.
New man just dropped. It's the Sigma type.
Okay.
Not entirely sure I understand that one.
No, like I hear that and all I can think of is shiny Pokemon. I'm like, is this alpha but like a different variant?
As far as I can tell, because I saw like a thing with like a pyramid.
Yeah, but they were like at the same height at the top of the pyramid, but like outside the pyramid or something.
Yeah. Okay, and the other type is sort of the green human-like being with the webbed hands and the turtle feet-like carapace.
Oh, the Kappa.
With the dish in the
Kappa
head.
type.
Yeah, the Kappa type. Maybe a Kappa type.
I could see you with a Kappa.
You think I could date a little demon?
I think you do just fine with a Kappa.
This is my little Kappa male. Hello, pleased to meet you. Question time. Stuff questions.
What's the questions?
Samuel West asks, Laura, do you speak baby now after your most recent speedrun?
There is a minigame in this where the Wii Remote Baby will make sounds, and you have to, like, they'll show you a picture and make the sound, and then you have to hear the sound and identify the picture. I remember that the doll with the flower in its hair kind of sounded like the baby was saying flower. The truck sort of sounded like vroom vroom, was sort of how I remembered that. The crayon sort of sounded like crayon crayon. Like a little French baby saying crayon twice. Crayon crayon. I had a pretty perfect hit rate for the memorizing and responding to the baby voice minigame. So I'm confident to say I can speak Babysitting Mama Baby.
You can speak babish.
I can speak babish. I can speak this video game's equivalent of baby.
Can you binge with babish?
I there was a food eating minigame, so yes, I can binge with babish.
Hurrah! In which case, what does wow mean?
It means stop trying to mimic my voice. It's kind of patronising.
I see.
Yeah.
See. Well, there you go. You heard it here first, folks. Tricky asks, what myths would you bust if you out of the blue decided to do a myth-busting segment?
Myths.
Trans regret.
Yeah, sudden onset gender.
Gender.
What is it? ROGD. Rapid onset gender dysphoria.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll debunk that one real quick. People who are trans typically struggle to find words for what they're feeling because no one teaches you that trans is a thing. And then if you meet other people that are trans, or see media that positively portrays trans people, you suddenly go, oh shit, there's a word for that thing. And you then go, hey, I think I might be trans. This is perceived by TERF parents as, you were turned trans out of nowhere by that piece of media or that person. Also, it overlooks the whole history of, usually people who are trans will secretly, for a long time, be like, I feel like this is a thing. Maybe this is a thing. I don't know if this is a thing. I should find out if this is a thing. I'll try voices. I'll try pronouns. I'll try names. Does this feel like it's right? Okay, I'm confident. I know this is definitely right. Now I'll talk to people.
Yeah.
And, like, that, for the person who is trans, they will have been mulling this over pretty constantly for months and months or years or however long. But to the outside person, because they haven't told you until now, it's like, wait, this came out of nowhere.
This is very subtle.
Yes. So it's a lot of very explainable, very common, understandable things about coming out as a LGBT person that are sort of, they call it rapid onset gender dysphoria to make it sound like it's a formal medical thing. That is a term that the TERFs made up to make their thing sound more legitimate than it is. It is a term for, I didn't know you were trans before you came out, therefore you've been tricked into it. That good debunking?
You had it first. Myth busted. Maggie J. Evans asks, what do you want most from Nintendo's next console?
Fix the Joy-Con drift. But honestly, I really like the concept of the Switch. Just make a better Switch.
Yeah, make a faster Switch.
Make a faster Switch.
Yeah, maybe a solid state drive.
Yeah. Maybe put some little IR lights on the dock and put like a little IR camera at the top so you can do proper Wii remote pointing rather than having to rely on gyro for your pointing.
I mean, I've not had a problem with the pointing.
No, but it'd be nice to have.
Slightly better range on the Wiimotes.
Yeah, on the Joy-Cons. Yeah, just make me another Switch that's faster and fancier graphics and doesn't have Joy-Con drift. And I'll be happy because I like the Switch as a concept.
Love the Switch. But as soon as it started to break on me, I had less interest. Also, cheaper games, please. Oh,
Yeah.
and a full virtual console.
Yeah, give us a proper don't Disney Vault us on this shit and like piecemeal it out. Just do what you did with the Wii and go, hey, all the back compatible games. There you go. They're available. Just go for it.
Yep. Just give us that, please. Single play.
Take the thing that's already good and make it better, please.
Joseph Gherkiman Adams, BSc. Fantasy. How does it feel that your fiancée is a speedrunner? It's pretty awesome. She's very good at what she do.
Yeah.
She done multiple runs, and now she is the multiple mama.
Yeah. I'm up to 9 records currently, and I would like to add another 6 to that. So by the time I'm done with Babysitting Mama, I'd like to have 15 first place records. That's That'd be a good point to move on, I think.
Any plans after baby cooking, Mama?
I'm looking at Train Sim.
I just realised why.
Yeah. Train Simulator. There is at least one track on there that last time I looked hadn't been speedrun, and I kind of want to do. I'll put a little conductor's hat on and do a train riding time.
How do you not already have a conductor's hat?
I don't know, but I need to order a conductor's hat on payday so that I can have a little conductor's hat and do that for stream.
Choo-choo,
So there's that. Either that, there's, I think it's Gardening Mama 2 on the 3DS that has never been speedrun. That being said, I would need a second webcam to video my hand if I'm playing it on emulator to show my clicks per minute. So that'd be a little bit of additional faffery, but I'll have a look. I'll work it out when I get there. Right now, I'm still in Babysitting Mama mode.
Lucky Ham asks, what's for breakfast?
I mean, for me, usually Marmite and peanut butter on toast as a sandwich.
I usually have granola.
Yeah. I will sometimes, if I'm feeling fancy, have some chocolate Weetabix.
Sometimes you'll just have pork and beans with bread.
Yeah, sometimes I'll have pork and beans and bread.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally I have noodles for breakfast if I'm in a bit of a rush and I just want to get something down me quick.
Nudes are good though.
Yeah. Nudes are good. Nudes are good.
Has anyone got it on your ramen? Lovely. Sure. James, gimme your deli meats, asks. That's an amazing name. In a world that often demonises people purely for enjoying something that perhaps others don't enjoy, what breed of dog do you believe is the most underrated?
So, I have a phobia of dogs.
Same.
Yep. I will try and answer this as best I can. In playing the Red Lantern the other week, I think I talked about that on this show. Yeah, so playing the Red Lantern, whatever breed of dog Noodle was a good.
Are they all huskies? Are they not all huskies?
You're right, they're all different types of husky. Okay, a husky with the temperament of Noodle. I don't know dogs. I don't know what dogs are. My grandparents had a dog that was vaguely okay at one point that had floppy ears. I think it was a spaniel. It was very respectful of not like climbing onto anyone. It would just sit and sort of curl next to you.
Spaniels are quite fun.
Yeah, it was a nice, very gentle, very calm spaniel that was okay. Yeah. Didn't mind that one.
I mean, most dogs have really bad breath.
Yeah, I would like a dog that doesn't have bad breath and isn't slobbery and isn't jumpy and isn't big.
I wouldn't mind a big dog if it had like the world's best temperament.
Yes.
But most big dogs really need to be exercised very hard.
Yeah,
Like, if I was going to have a dog, it would have to be a Malamute.
Yeah.
But they're huge. We'd need, like, a whole extra wing.
Yeah. My grandparents' spaniel was alright. Is that an acceptable answer?
There you go. Are spaniels underrated, though? I think they're very popular.
Probably. I don't know enough about dogs. They're scary and I don't like them. Go away, dogs. I'm scared.
Whichever one you prefer, James.
Yes. I'm sorry, dogs are scary. I had a bad experience with a dog once and it fucked me up a bit.
What about cats?
Oh, cats are great.
I don't really know many breeds of cat.
Oh,
I know that Dodger's cat, Sherlock, is a British Bengal. And I like Maine Coons and I like Norwegian forest cats.
In terms of underrated, not breeds, but types, black cats, totally underrated. People seem to, like, they're the least adopted cats. No one wants black cats. Black cats are great. Fucking love a good black cat.
Like, if I was ever to have a cat of my own, I would like a black cat.
Yeah.
An adopted older black cat.
Agreed, yeah.
Yeah, because people won't adopt them because they have superstitions about black cats.
Exactly, and older cats because you know their temperament and they deserve homes too.
And because, again, older cats are less adoptable because everyone wants a fucking kitten.
Exactly, and, like, no, you don't want a kitten. You don't know what the fuck their temperament's gonna be when they grow up. You want a cat that, like, hey, you know what they're like. You know what you're getting. You know what their deal is.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
Phoenix asks, "Hi, Megan,
Love you.
Asks, inventive new uses for blood. Summoning demons is so last millennia. Summoning abominations.
Boil it down to get the iron out of it and make a sword. You're going to need a lot of blood.
Yeah.
But I mean, if
Gallons
you've got...
of the stuff.
Yeah. Give them more than they can drink and it'll never be enough. If you have enough of it, make a sword out of the iron in the blood.
Blood sword. No, There is no better answer than that. The answer is blood sword. Make a special new type of blood steel. That's so metal.
Yeah, right.
Literally. Well, that is all of the questions.
Well then, time for this.
Do you know what I want to see more of?
What do you want to see more of?
Social Justice Warriors.
Social Justice Warriors.
Yeah.
All right, Harry.
All right, Barry.
How you doing?
Oh, poor mental health, questionable physical health.
Yeah. Been there. Got the t-shirt.
Oh, that is a very nice t-shirt.
Oh, thank you. Hey, I've been thinking about a thing, as
Yeah.
I
What-
do.
what
Yeah,
talking
been
about
thinking
this
about
time?
something. Yeah, I've been thinking about something. I've been watching a lot of people get a bit more cavalier about the whole COVID situation recently.
Again,
Yeah,
this is the house
yeah.
parties or...
Yeah. You know, because vaccines are starting to get out to people.
Starting.
Starting.
And we're in the UK, so, like, first dose and fuck knows when the second
Yeah,
dose
I
will
heard
be.
about my dad. My dad's getting one, and then in 3 months he's due to get his next one,
Oh.
apparently, which is not what Pfizer recommends, but, because some people are starting to get them, and, the idea in people's heads is all vaccines are happening, I've started to see people a bit cavalier about, like, oh, we can go outside again, it's fine, a vaccine exists, some people have it, therefore it's safe to go back out and just sort of pretend COVID doesn't exist again.
Right.
Which
okay.
is not ideal.
No, certainly less than ideal. Yeah, I really don't understand it. I mean, there's so much wrong with the government's handling of this whole thing, full stop. Like, we don't even know when the second dose will be coming in, and there's no guarantee that you will be protected even after your first dose.
Exactly, they are rushing to get people's as many people a single dose as possible, so they can inflate their numbers arbitrarily.
Yeah, because obviously they'll be saying
Yeah.
that's another person in vaccinated
Exactly.
when actually it's just the second dose.
Exactly. But that's the thing. It's been frustrating watching people sort of act as if the news that a vaccine exists and that some people have it means that it's totally safe to go back to life as normal already. When it's like, no.
Firstly, you haven't had it.
Yeah,
Secondly, most of the other people around you haven't had it.
Exactly. And even so, it's gonna be a while before you or probably anyone you know has it. And even if someone you know has it, they can still pass it on to you if they've got it on them.
Yeah. Got any COVID?
Exactly. It's going to be a while before things can get back to normal, and it's frustrating watching people try and jump ahead to that point sooner than we're really ready.
Yeah, it's certainly concerning.
Yeah. Oh.
Much luck.
Much luck.
Oh, you sound tired, mate.
Yeah, proper tired
Yeah,
today.
should we get you off to bed?
Yeah, sounds great. Right.
Well, sleep well, mate.
Yeah, you too. Have a good one.
So, Laura, where can we find you on the internet, darling?
Laura K Buzz in all the places. Laura K Buzz on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Patreon. That's the one that pays the bills. You can find me Twitch streaming Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 p.m. UK, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, and also sometimes in the UK daytime when I have time and a big speed run I want to do. There's books. Those are probably the big thing right now. As of when this episode is published, Thursday the 4th of February is the release date for Things I Learned from Mario's Butt. That's like 4 days after this episode's published. It's a book. It's got video game character butts in it, and images and reviews and a bunch of critics and developers and all that sort of good stuff. Yeah, there's also Uncomfortable Labels. It's just about being an autistic trans woman and how those things intersect. You can get it now where books are sold, or as an audiobook on laurakbuzzstore.com. Then there's Gender Euphoria. That's coming out on June 10th, 2021. It's about positive, real, gender-affirming stories from non-cis people. I'm real happy with that book. I reread through it this week, trying to find last little errors and fixes before it goes to print, and I'm real proud of that book.
It should be.
That's actually good. You got some words in there, and they're
There's
really
some words
good.
in there.
Yeah, they're very good words. I very much enjoyed reading
I got my
them.
name in that book twice.
Yeah.
'Cause I supported it.
Yeah, you're not the only backer that has their name in that section and also in the back. Other than that, there's podcasts, Pixel Squirts about video game pornography. There's Podquisition, your favourite video games, are they great or perfect? Who wants to know? Then there's Dice Funk, I'm on seasons 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 of that show. It is a Dungeons and Dragons podcast. Every season's its own story. We are real close to the end of season 7. Season 8's going to be real soon. I'm going to be in season 8. I can't wait to share all of the wonderful art that has already been created to get ready for season 8. I'm very excited for that. I'll say this, structure-wise, I think it's going to feel very season 3, which I'm excited about. In terms of its structure. So yeah, what about you? I do a show with you that isn't this one.
It is. It's Polyamory.
Yeah.
Latest episode of that went up Saturday. The previous Saturday to this episode going up.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's sometimes difficult to work out.
We're getting near to the end of recording it, even if it's going to be a while before it finishes
it's gonna
airing.
be like nearly a year before the last episode goes up. Although, if all being well, I would like to start popping those out a bit more quickly.
Yeah.
But that will very much depend on when I have enough time to actually help with the editing.
Yeah.
So that is a D&D 5th edition real play podcast with questionable morals that we do with Nick Flair and Phoenix. I have a Patreon. That's the one that pays my bills. For as little as $1 a month, you can help me justify a 76-hour work week. For a brief while I said 69 because I thought it was funny, but that's just not true. I'm very tired.
Sleepy.
I stream on Twitch. I have Twitter. I'm on YouTube. I write board game reviews over on Stone Monkey Radio. I sell t-shirts on Redbubble. We've got a Facebook group and a SoundCloud for this show and for Polyamory. Both of those are up there where you might be listening to this now. And I also have a different SoundCloud for my music called Bedroom Programmer. That's where you can find all of that stuff. All of my links can be found at streamerlinks.com/Janiac. That's JANEIAC. My Patreon is patreon.com/StonedMonkeyRadio. Thank you very much for joining us. Laura! Will you sing us out?
Until next time, be a stranger.